When he was summoned to another world, he expected heroic skills. But instead of strength, now he is the first one who can rewrite the abilities themselves, changing not only the system, but also the destinies of people. In a world where strength is respected, he has become someone who inspires the weak. Will he be able to change this world, or will the system break him? Let's find out. The story begins with a system notification. Time limit 10 minutes. Choose 3 skill embryos. When Takumi woke up, he found himself in a white room. He found himself among a crowd of people who were muttering about this system notification, choosing their skill embryos. Someone from the crowd was screaming, asking why he was locked here, threatening to call the police. The crowd of people who were locked in the room were at a loss. Someone was screaming, someone fell, someone tried to adapt to this system. The main character began to get disappointed while waiting for the beginning. Incomprehensible people around him, trash, but still he decided to clarify what kind of skills the crowd was talking about. Takumi wondered where they were locked. What kind of place was this? He remembered leaving the office and heading to the station, but his memories were interrupted by a screaming crowd. People were arguing over the choice of skill embryos. They could not divide it. The one who was first got more. Without understanding what was going on here, MC decided to choose his skill germs. Going to the list, he saw that other characters had already chosen magic, attack, time and space skills. All this could be imagined as cheats in the game. He wondered what kind of skill germs these were. They were not the skills themselves. This is an element from which the skill itself is built. Can they be combined? It would probably be better for him to choose something universal. There were only 3 minutes left. There was no time to think. There were fewer and fewer people in the room. Now the main character needed to concentrate more than ever. All the skill germs that remained appeared in front of him on the main screen. He needed to make a choice. He had a brush, contact, and claws left. He began to think about what skills could help him overcome the limitations. Maybe he should choose the contact skill? There were only 2 skills left. Almost everything had already been chosen. The main character was confused. Which of these should he choose? The time limit left no choice. He had to think very quickly. He was afraid of becoming the weakest character, because the world might not be what he expected. There was almost no time left, only 1 minute, and in front of him on the screen were the same 3 embryos. He frantically screamed at the screen, begged the system for another skill embryo, screamed to be given the opportunity to choose another skill. But it was too late to change the strategy. There were 10 seconds left to complete his choice. MC was very nervous. He clenched his teeth, hissed, and still asked to be allocated a new skill. The countdown of the last seconds began, but nothing new appeared on the screen. He nervously scrolled through the list of talents waiting for something new. Time is up. The transition begins. Scream, panic in his eyes. No, he has not decided yet. He needs a little more time. Nothing was left, only darkness that swallowed him. The first picture in his eyes after the transition, the crown of trees, he woke up. He asked himself, where is he? This is a forest. Turning his head a little, he saw an unconscious girl sitting next to him. The girl was very close. He was able to see her. She has long ears. Maybe she is not human. He began to look around and examine the forest to understand what was beyond the white room. Then his gaze returned to that girl again. He saw a wound on her body and decided to come closer to find out about her condition. It was unclear if she was okay. She woke up, seeing a guy hanging over her, asked who he was. Takumi, he introduced himself to her. The girl was very weak. Taking Takumi by the hand, she said that she needed to rest and everything would be fine. She put something in his hand. He looked at her carefully and listened to her words. She said about elves. Takumi was stunned, opened his eyes wide and woke up in some room. Lying on the bed, he did not understand whether it was a dream or not. Getting out of bed, he went to the mirror and saw a completely different person in the reflection. A scream, surprise, confusion. Who is this person reflected in the mirror? What happened? Is this a transition action, and is this his new avatar? Takumi tried to understand who he was now. He pinched his face to understand that he was not dreaming. How old is he now, he thought, when suddenly the talisman that the girl in the forest gave him fell to the floor. He remembered her again and thought that he should return it to her. Standing in the middle of the room, he decided to find out his status, open the embryos of talents to understand what he chose in the white room he has, and what to do next. Well, no matter how he tried to call the system window with his status, no matter how he waved his hands and shouted, nothing happened. Takumi could not understand what was wrong, why it did not work, and where to check his embryos of skills. He grabbed his head and drooped. It was a complete failure. When suddenly his skills appeared in front of him on the main screen. He was very surprised that in front of him were the skills that he did not choose himself, because it was already chosen by others. But now he knew how to see his status. It was enough to just put his hand to his eyes. He decided to go outside to look around. He saw a high fence around him, which protected him from something. While he was collecting his thoughts, a voice was heard from behind, which greeted him and said that this was the village of Rosetta. Turning around, the main character saw an old man. It was the village elder. His name was Zil. Takumi told the old man that he was pleased to meet him. He said that he woke up and ended up here. The elder told him not to worry, that the people coming out of these gates were just people from another world. The main character asked the old man again, "People from another world?" He answered positively to his question and said that people from another world came 5 years ago. MC was very surprised by this period. How could he miss 5 years? He decided to clarify with Zil what needs to be done to survive in this world. The village chief Zil directed him towards the building and told him to go there first. The protagonist went to the building on which the Adventurers Guild was written, and from behind the door a voice was heard that greeted him. At the threshold, Takumi was met by the guild master Hana. She was surprised by the new face she saw. She learned from the protagonist that he was not from this world and asked him to write that he was from the village of Rosetta. Hana gave MC papers to fill out and choose a profession. The text on this paper was written in another language, but the protagonist was surprised when he realized that he understood this language. The protagonist could not decide which profession to choose. Hana asked what skill embryos he had. MC was immersed in his thoughts. He began to think about skills. Takumi realized that skills not related to embryos do not appear, and that he needs to choose a profession that goes well with his skill embryos. An epiphany came to his mind, but the voice of the guildmaster pulled him out of his thoughts. She said that the profession cannot be changed after registration. Indignation again. The protagonist went through his skills, contact, change, text, thought about the profession that can be combined with these skills. After 5 minutes, Hannah prepared a personal MC card and said that she had never heard of such a profession. Taking it in his hands, the protagonist turned it over to the back side and began to read the name of his profession. Now his original profession is a systems engineer. This profession should go well with the embryos of his skills. Smiling, Hannah handed over the things necessary for this profession and equipment, handed over a small gift, and said that it does not need to be returned. The protagonist was simply happy and grateful for this. While he was in the guild, it got dark outside. He returned to where he woke up in the morning. It was a salvation for him to use this building for a while. He sat on the bed, picked up the knife that Hannah gave him, and thought about what to do with it now. Takumi began to work on developing his skills. He took the knife and began to use the contact skill on it to study the information about the object. Then he turned it into text and read it. He was surprised. He succeeded. Then MC changed the attack power of the knife from 3 to 9 using the talent of change, and he succeeded again. While he was working with the knife, he understood how skills are born and received additional skills in forgery and analysis. Takumi concluded for himself that the forgery skill only works on one symbol. You cannot use hieroglyphs or English. He became stronger. He was able to change the attack power of stones from 1 to 9 and went hunting goblins and slugs. One day on his sortie, after Takumi killed a goblin, he saw that a magic stone fell out of the killed monster. He heard people say that these stones can be sold in the store. 3 days later, Takumi met Hana in the company of a man. "Today again, a lot, just in time," said the guildmaster and introduced the man. It was Harry. Harry taught a man from another world, who also came to them 5 years ago. You can ask him for information. MC hesitated, didn't know where to start the conversation, but still asked. He was interested in where people from another world go when they leave here. "They are heading to the city of Barcelli in the west," Harry told him. "It's a big city, where those who want to defeat the Lord of Darkness gather." The main character cried out, "The Lord of Darkness?" He was scared, and a question arose in his head. Is it really necessary to defeat the Lord of Darkness in order to return? He asked the man, "What profession did the one who came 5 years ago have?" The man answered that it was the profession of a pharmacist, and that in the past world this man also made medicine. Takumi concluded that it was probably not necessary to defeat the Lord of Darkness. He even cheered up from this thought, and decided to ask Harry about the embryos of skills. Harry brought MC to the house, and then turned around abruptly and said, "You can't go any further. They'll kill you." With these words, he plunged the main character into shock and stupor. He even turned pale. Returning to his shelter, Takumi lay down on the bed and began to reason about the words that the man told him. Asking about the embryo of skills is dangerous. If you know the embryo of skills in the profession, you can assume what skills a person has. But he lacked communication with people from another world. Without them, MC could not understand anything. He decided to just prepare for now, took a shirt, white color, linen material, and with the help of the talent of change, changed the displayed text. Material silk, the city of Barcelli. Takumi got to the city of Barcelli. He stood amazed in the middle of a large city, looking at the local people, watching them. The road took him 2 days, but went smoothly, without problems. probably due to the fact that the main character slightly increased the level up. Magic stones, he wanted to sell them, but there were too many people. Suddenly the main character was called out. The man asked where the new face in their city was from. Takumi replied that he was from the village of Rosetta, but his words came out as incomprehensible sounds for this man. The man looked at him, frowned and said only the name of the F rank, and then laughed loudly, pointing his finger at MC. He found it funny that with an F rank, the protagonist came to Barcelli to earn money and said that with an E rank, MC would have died at all. Takumi cringed at his words, frowned, not hiding his irritation, said that this old man angered him. Meanwhile, it was his turn to sell his stones, which he collected by killing goblins. The store said that he collected a lot. The protagonist broke into a smile. It was collected in 2 days, so nothing special. And behind his back stood the same old man who continued to anger MC with his presence. He, glancing sideways at the protagonist, said that for an F rank, this is not bad, and then turned to the man in the hat. The old man asked Hiroshi, "Do you think he suits us?" Hiroshi refused. He said that the guy who throws things from afar is not needed. And this old man said through clenched teeth that yesterday's goods are all in dust, also useless. Standing in line, Takumi was angry and thought about Hiroshi's skills. Hiroshi probably has an analysis skill. He thought that his new camouflage skill helped him a lot because he hid his real profession from everyone. And now everyone saw this information name, Takumi, development, thrower, embryos of skills, run, bend, throw, skill, throwing. In the store, the stone buyer told the protagonists that he had achieved a lot for rank F, and asked if they were going to promote him. Takumi was interested in this at first, but then decided to end the dialogue, answering her with a refusal and referring to another time. He left the store. It was unpleasant for him to talk to these people. He was very tired and wanted to go to bed early. He did not even notice that someone was following him. MC continued walking when he was called from behind. The stranger asked if he had a minute. He turned around and answered her. The mysterious girl was wearing a black cloak that hid her face. She offered him to join her in a group. There was a pause. MC did not know what to answer. When suddenly the girl screamed, "Please, please." She was tense. Desperation was heard in every word. Takumi asked her who she was. He asked her to calm down. She apologized and said that she could not find someone to join a group with. She was confused and did not know what to do. He asked if she had a family. She answered negatively. She said that she came to this world 3 days ago. The stranger explained that others did not want to take her into their group when they found out the embryo of skills and the profession that she got. While she was telling all this, the main character thought about the fact that she was also from another world. He told her that he would be interested in hearing stories of other people from another world. After a short pause, the girl invited him to sit down, have a snack and talk. She promised to treat him if he agreed. He agreed, and the girl, happy about this fact, began to chatter non-stop. She said that she had not eaten anything since yesterday, promised to tell everything she knew. The new city, the park, the fountain, and this girl who was eating cookies with a bang, all this seemed funny to Takumi. She ate these cookies and thanked him. She came to life before his eyes. He was glad to hear this. For some time they sat on the bench in silence. She was still eating cookies. He introduced himself to her and said that he had a question that she might not like and she could refuse to answer it. MC took a breath and blurted out the question. He asked if she could tell about her profession, all the skills available to her, and the embryos of skills. An awkward pause hung in the air. The girl stopped eating and silently looked at her cookies. Takumi began to justify his interest in her talents. He asked if he could help with anything. She agreed, calling him her benefactor. As it turned out, she used to study at an art university and was an artist. It was her dream to get this talent, but in reality, she cannot defeat any monster with it. The protagonist was surprised and asked her if she tried using the deformation skill. The girl nodded. She said that she used this skill. She can express any idea through a drawing. Takumi cried out in surprise and asked again, "Any idea?" He got up from the bench, turned to her and offered his help. He asked if she would agree to use his skills on her. The girl lowered her head, folded her hands and said how hard it had been for her since she came to this world. She was a little scared, but she couldn't live like this any longer, and if it continued like this, she would die of hunger. Gathering her strength, she turned to MC with a request to use all his skills on her. He smiled in response to her consent. He sat her down on the bench, stood next to her, and took her hand. The girl did not understand what he was doing. She tried to pull her hand away, but he pressed her hand to his eyes and asked her to freeze in this pose for 5 minutes. After all, this was the only way he could help her. With the help of his analysis skill, he looked at her status, found out her name, and everything that Mia can do. With the help of the forgery skill, he changed this status. The deed was done. He offered to try her new abilities. The girl agreed. He gave Mia a branch and told her to imagine how this branch grows, like an anime, told her to mentally exaggerate it. The girl nodded. She understood the meaning of his words. Incredible. The small branch increased in size several times right before her eyes. Mia was surprised by the new deformation skill. She looked at this big branch and imagined how it became smaller again. The branch returned to its original state. It's amazing. Takumi told her that everything would be fine now and was about to leave. But the girl asked the protagonist to explain what to do next, because she did not understand how one could earn money this way. He told her that with such a skill she would be accepted into any group. She squealed. It seemed to her that this was not enough to be accepted into the group. MC calmed her down, asked her not to worry, assured her that with such a skill, any group would want her. She trusted him, believed his words. The idea of creating a joint group arose in her head again. Takumi refused, said that he preferred to be alone. The girl continued to insist on her own, begged to create a new group together. She got upset and cried. She was convinced that her skill was no good. He gave up seeing her tears. He came closer to Mia and asked if she was sure that he was right for her party. She smiled and answered him yes. In the Adventurers Guild, Takumi and Mia read the names of the parties and the quests that were available on the bulletin board. The protagonist suggested the party arrange an E-rank quest. Mia screamed loudly. She can't participate in an E-rank quest. She can't even defeat a goblin. She remembered how the crowd in Barcelona City laughed at her and her rank level. She became sad. Takumi told her that he had something for her, a new secret weapon that she could use, and handed her a bag. They went to the store and got new cards. Now they had a new adventurer rank, E-rank. They went outside happy. Disgruntled people shouted at their backs that MC cheated. It is impossible to get E-rank in one day. No one could believe it. When there were fewer people, Mia finally took out her secret weapon. She was delighted about it. With this slingshot, the girl can attack from afar. They were able to earn enough money to not spend the night on the street. Takumi was surprised that Mia had to spend the night on the street. It was too dangerous. He told her that they had worked hard today and they needed to find a hotel. It was getting dark outside. They reached the hotel. MC was going to take a bath when suddenly there was a knock on the door. A pretty girl with big expressive eyes appeared on the threshold. He cried out in surprise and asked who she was. She must have just gotten to the wrong room. Mia, the girl introduced herself to him. She wanted to talk to him. He didn't recognize her because she had never shown her face until that moment. She asked him if it was the wrong time. Surprised, Takumi invited her to enter the room. The girl sat down on the bed. She came to thank him. Now she didn't have to worry about housing and food. She felt safe with him and thanked him for that. The protagonist smiled and said that he hadn't done anything special. He decided to ask Mia who kicked her out of the group. What were the professions of these people? She answered that 2 people were heroes and there was also a holy knight and a sage. He was impressed by their talents. She asked the MC about their profession. How was it chosen, taking into account the skill embryos? If so, then it was understandable why she considered herself a burden in their group. Takumi was surprised when he heard this. She didn't know about the professions that don't go well with skill embryos. Mia interrupted his thoughts. She wanted advice on her skill. She asked if there was anything else she could do. She wanted to hear more ideas from Takumi. Takumi decided to help with that. He handed her the stick she had transformed during the day. He asked, "Do you remember this?" The girl was surprised and asked if he had the same skill. Where did he get this stick from? He denied it. It wasn't his skill. It was created with the skill she had. Mia closed her eyes and imagined a torch instead of a stick. The stick disappeared, and he explained to Mia that the deformation skill could give any object the traits it represented. Any item she created could be used by other people. He told her this, but he doubted whether he should tell her, because it could be used for evil. Mia confirmed his words. She had heard terrible rumors about it. She had heard stories about people from another world who were killed despite their useful skills because these people refused to cooperate. Takumi hissed nervously. It was better that others did not know about this talent. Mia said, "This is probably what Harry was talking about in Rosetta Village. It is dangerous to talk about talents." MC thought about it. He also remembered Harry's words. The girl asked something else about her skill. Can she give an object any features she wants? For example, imagine that there is a pocket inside the cloak that can hold as many things as she wants. She shocked the protagonist with such a question. They had a lot of things that they bought with the money they earned. The things did not fit, and she came up with this idea with a pocket. Takumi asked, "Is this something like a 4-dimensional pocket?" Mia asked if he can sew. As it turned out, none of them knew how to sew. The next day they decided to find a tailor. Mia no longer wore a hood. People whispered behind her back. "Who is this beauty? Is this the same rat from the sewers? Has she always been this cute?" Again, they were whispering about her rank. She was cheating. It is impossible to rise to rank E in one day. Takumi shouted to Mia, "They have a task," when suddenly he was knocked down and thrown aside by some unknown guy. The guy approached Mia, asked if she wanted to join their group. The girl was outraged. She opened her eyes wide in surprise and the guy's impudence. His group, the Flaming Sword, plans to act in the capital. Mia muttered that she did not agree. The protagonist shouted angrily, "What kind of guy is this?" The guy looked at MC and turned to the girl again. "He is unreliable. It will be safer with us. Our rank is C. We have enough money. In a weak group you will die quickly." She refused again. Takumi was interested in rank C, but was angry at this guy because of his words. Mia screamed at the top of her voice. She refused this offer. She walked up to the main character, grabbed his hand, and pulled him along. MC turned around and saw a strange guy falling into the ground with a crash. They left, slamming the door. Mia asked what happened to that guy. MC joked, maybe the floor rotted, or maybe he helped the guy fall through with the forgery skill. The girl giggled and thanked him. She was glad to be in a party with the main character. He looked at her in surprise. Then he said, "Politeness only gets in the way in battle." She nodded, giggled, and offered to get to know each other again, because MC opened up to her from a different side. Takumi smiled widely in response. Mia asked about the task. "Is it possible to make money on it?" They got to destroy a giant rat in an abandoned mine. You can make good money on this quest. They went to complete the task while they were looking for contacts of a suitable tailor. The smell of this beast from the cave was terrible. When the task was completed, the shop informed them that a tailor had been found. The shop girl said that the tailor was a good craftsman, but he was a dwarf. She didn't know if that would suit Takumi and Mia. MC replied that it didn't matter to him and took the master tailor's contract. They immediately went to the address that the shop girl had given them. It was a poor area of the city. It was getting dark and they were a little creepy about this area. Finally, they saw the tailor's workshop. They knocked on the door decisively, and a girl with long blonde hair opened the door for them. She smiled at them and asked who they were. Takumi and Mia's mouths dropped open in surprise. The girl was very short. Takumi asked, "Is Marlu here?" Marlu introduced herself to them and invited them inside. It was very cozy inside. The mannequins were wearing stunningly beautiful outfits. Mia asked Marlu, "Is this handmade?" Mia really liked the quality of the fabric and workmanship. The girl turned to the tailor. She said that she came to her on business. Mia said that she needed a pocket inside the cloak. Marlu took their cloaks and asked to come back for them tomorrow. Takumi also turned to the tailor with a request. He needed the contact of a blacksmith. Marlu replied that she knew a blacksmith, but he was also a dwarf. The protagonist said that he did not care. The tailor was very surprised. She wondered why they did not mind communicating with dwarves. Marlu gave the address of the blacksmith cooked. His forge was in the building behind. The tailor vouched for his skills as a blacksmith. On Marlu's recommendation, Mia and Takumi went to the forge. They knocked on the door and shouted loudly, "Is cooked here?" Someone pushed the door with great force. It swung open with a bang. A short man with a beard came out into the street. He shouted loudly to the whole street that he was bored. The man asked them to leave. He was tired of making swords, spears, shields, and armor. He was fed up with all this. The main character and his companion froze in surprise. Then Takumi asked Cook to look at it and held out a branch. In his hands the branch increased in size. Cook did not expect to see this. The surprised blacksmith asked what kind of wood this was. Takumi turned away from Cook and pretended to leave. He told the blacksmith that he wanted his help so that Cook could make a weapon from this wood. If the blacksmith does not want to make a weapon, it is boring for him. Takumi will take his companion and leave. The blacksmith shouted after them, "Show me this." Cook took the branch in his hands. He was interested in this material. He invited his guests to come in. Inside his forge it was a little dirty. Armor and different types of weapons were hanging on the mannequins. The blacksmith asked Takumi what should be made from this wood. MC replied that they needed to make a weapon that would suit him and Mia. He explained to the forge that they were new to adventures and had no knowledge. Cooked asked what type and what material the protagonist wanted this weapon from, or should the blacksmith come up with it himself. Cooked said that an ordinary craftsman would not be able to handle such material. The order was very unusual. It was good that they came to him with this. MC said that he asked Marla to do another job and that it was Marla who gave the blacksmith's address. Cooked laughed out loud. He was amused that Marla was asked to do the job. Then he would be able to make something cool too. Mia and Takumi thanked him. In exchange for help, the blacksmith asked to show how they fight. The next day in the city of Barsili, the guys showed a fight. Mia fought a monster with a slingshot. She was very strong with it. Cooked noted Mia's style. Her style was tough. This is thanks to her secret weapon. It is really tough. The blacksmith complimented Takumi because he fights even harder. Behind them, they heard the voice of the nasty old man Takumi had met near the store when he was trying to sell the stones. He was not alone, Hiroshi was with him. Now Takumi saw that Hiroshi was an elf. The old man was making sarcastic remarks towards the protagonist again. He asked the MC with a grin, "Are they working with a dwarf now?" The nasty old man found it funny. He called them a perfect couple. He called Takumi a useless person, and Cooked a lowly dwarf. The elf cleared his throat and exclaimed, "These are the ones." He remembered their meeting in the store. Takumi forced a smile and warned, "Cooked is with them too." The protagonist asked not to cause trouble. He said with a smile that he had heard of them. They are masters of their craft. MC asked these men, "What rank are they?" Hiroshi answered, "C rank, they are spirit hunters." The elf threw an evil look and snorted towards Takumi, "You will not achieve this rank." MC was impressed by their rank and replied in a friendly manner that he would also try to reach the same level. Takumi did not want to talk to them any further. He apologized to Hiroshi and wanted to leave. But the elf asked an unexpected question. He wanted to know what world the protagonist was from, what his profession was, and what the embryo of his skills was. Takumi was unpleasantly surprised and looked into the elf's eyes. Hiroshi offered a deal. If MC told his skills and it would be useful, he would take Miya and Takumi into his group. Hiroshi heard rumors that they had risen to E rank in one day. Miya asked how they knew about it. The protagonist wanted to calm Miya down, but because of the elf's chilling gaze, he could not move. He remembered the girl in the forest when he first came to this world. She was also an elf. Some man in a hood came up to Hiroshi and said that they don't need Takumi, he's a long ranger. The elf agreed with the hooded man's opinion, so he turned around and left, showing them his dislike with his eyes. Takumi sighed after they left because Hiroshi had a person with the analysis skill in his group. It helped them. They got rid of this elf's group. MC approached Cooked. He apologized to the blacksmith for the awkward situation. Cooked calmed Takumi down. He knew the behavior of elves, they are always arrogant. Miya remembered how those people used to call her and mock her. She was terribly angry because they even mocked Cooked. It became a goal for Miya to rise above rank C together with Takumi. It was time to go to the tailor. Miya tried on the cloak, it was magnificent. Marlu sewed a new cloak for her from a different fabric. The tailor's work was done well. Marlu surprised Miya with this. The girl is very grateful to the tailor and wants to thank her for her work. Instead of gratitude, Marlu asks them to stay and live in this house on the second floor. The tailor needs Takumi and Miya to help her gather materials for the weapon. Miya is confused. She doesn't know if it's okay to stay in this house. Takumi is happy with this offer. He goes to pick up things from the inn. On the way to the inn, Miya asked Takumi if Marl and the others can be trusted. Can she tell them about the skills? She thought that these two gnomes can be trusted. On the way to the inn they met 3 people. These people recognized Miya. They smiled and said that the girl was as nice as always. Takumi asked Miya if these people were familiar to her. Miya explained to him who they were. She came to this world with these people. The guy with glasses asked the girl why she changed her group. The artist laughed quietly and said that a lot had happened in her life. She asked the 3 if they were okay. The second guy with bangs over his eyes complained to Miya about their problems. They bought an expensive weapon, but it turned out to be defective. They can't fight normally with it, and that's why their rank doesn't grow. Miya looked into Takumi's eyes. But the main character didn't want to reveal his talents to this company. Recommended that they contact a good blacksmith, not for free. The guy with glasses was indignant. Why is Takumi setting conditions? Why doesn't he want to help them? The guy with glasses started raising his voice. He shouted that he heard how one of their acquaintances had already reached rank S. MC and Miya were surprised to hear this. They hadn't heard about rank S before. The guy clarified that he heard it from another person from the capital. The nickname of this person with rank S is Death. It was known that if you go on a quest with Death, then no one except him will return from there alive. Takumi immediately thought about cheating abilities, so it exists and it can be used. Takumi and Miya returned from the hotel to the tailor's house. Marlu greeted them. She was preparing dinner. MC and the artist decided to help her with this. Everyone in the kitchen came to life. Cooking dinner brought their company closer. They joked and laughed. Takumi looked at Miya with excitement in his eyes and said that when he got here, he did not know what awaited him in this world. But fortunately, everything was not so bad. Dinner was ready. Marlu asked Takumi if he and Miya would also go kill the Lord of Darkness. She said that for some reason, people from another world always strive to kill the Lord of Darkness. Cook joined the conversation. He said that there are 4 races in this world: humans, elves, dwarves, and demons. Elves are long-lived, they are strong in magic. They can create magic items, and they are also very arrogant. Their wealth and power is associated with the production of magic items. The Adventurers Guild is actually under the control of the elves. Cook got angry. Only elves are given the right to profit from magic stones twice. Next on the list were humans. They made up half of all the races. People from another world are always only humans. They are not of another race. The tailor told about the dwarves. Dwarves are long-lived, masters in creating good things. The blacksmith added that the things that dwarves create cannot compare with the magic items of the elves. What the dwarves create is bought for pennies. Their work is devalued. And finally, demons. Demons are strong in magic and physical strength. Their numbers are extremely small. They can also create magic items. Takumi asked again, do demons also create magic items? The blacksmith answered positively, but it is different from elven items. Demons do not communicate with other races. Mia asked, do demons attack other races? Cooked answered negatively, they are not interested in other races. The protagonist was immersed in his thoughts. He thought that the elves are behind all this for a reason. He remembered the elf girl in the forest. She did not look angry. Takumi asked the blacksmith why he and Marlu were in the city of people. Perhaps it was uncomfortable for them? The blacksmith and the tailor left the dwarven country because of the stifling atmosphere and the appearance of elven magic items in their country. They could not stand it. They are good craftsmen, but they were deprived of work. When Cooked and Marlu met Takumi and Mia, they decided to try to create items again. Good items that would be of the same quality as the elves, so that the king would finally pay attention to the items that were created by the dwarves. Takumi liked the idea and suggested that everyone work together. Humans and dwarves should join forces to find their true purpose. Everyone supported this idea. It was decided not to sleep all night and come up with ideas for new weapons. Meanwhile, in the capital, INVINCIBLE, a man came to the office of the elf master of the Adventurers Guild. The man told the elf that he was called for an S-rank mission, and then he was simply assigned to catch one of the elves. He considered this too easy a task for an S-rank. The man asked why his rank and strength were underestimated. The elf promised to generously thank the man for completing this task. But this man did not need money. He said that he wanted the throne of the king. The elf snorted at him that his wish was nonsense. He shouted at the man that the secrets that the elf girl kept should not be known to others. This elf must die. The man replied that he did not care. He was from another world. He did not care about other people's secrets. The elf got angry. He hissed at the man and said his name through clenched teeth. Death. The elf said that the contract was made. Death promised to complete this quest. Mia and Marlu became friends during the time they lived together. 2 months of hard work passed. The blacksmith and the tailor worked hard and were very tired. Everything was ready. Cook made new weapons and armor, and Marlu created clothes and accessories. Takumi changed the defensive clothes from 11 to 91 with the help of the talent of forgery. It became stronger than armor. Now the main character and Mia had protection. In this they looked like ordinary travelers and did not attract attention. They no longer had to worry about questions regarding professions and embryos of skills in the city. The main weapon became a sword of a light blade. In theory, Cooked has a built-in Urek stone in it, which converts SP into energy. The blacksmith asked where MC could get such materials. Takumi decided to tell about his talents, but Mia interrupted him. She asked to come closer to her. The girl showed her cloak. In this there was a pocket that had no bottom. There was no limit to the general surprise. Marlu asked, did she make this pocket? Mia answered positively. She told about a wonderful skill that helped her change this pocket. She transformed it and now it is a container for everything. Now you can even store food in this pocket. It will not spoil. This was implemented with the help of Mia's skill. She gave the image properties. Now Takumi also told about his skill, which allows you to change the unambiguous values of statuses. But only thanks to their joint work and the ideas of Cooked and Marlu, something really cool turned out. The blacksmith asked the protagonist, is he sure that they can know about this? Takumi assured Cooked that everything is fine. They completely trust them. He suggested that the blacksmith and tailor go with them to the dwarven capital so that Cooked and Marlu could show this weapon to the king themselves. Cooked asked MC if he wanted to awaken the dwarven king with his appearance. Takumi said that his skills and Mia's skills could be used to create something that would be as powerful as the elven magic items. He wanted to create it in front of all the dwarves. He admitted that it would most likely be difficult for them to meet the dwarven king themselves, so he needed the help of the blacksmith and tailor. The blacksmith accepted this offer, because for him and the tailor, it was also a chance to return and show what they were capable of. They decided to leave in a week. Marlu also agreed to go to the dwarven capital. She became very interested in how the dwarven artifacts could go against the elven magic items. During these 2 months, Takumi realized that this world is controlled by elves. The elves send people from another world to kill the Lord of Darkness. He realized that the elves are hindered by demons, who also create magical items. If all of Takumi's guesses are correct, then even after killing the Lord of Darkness, People from another world will not be able to return home. If this continues, the elves will simply use people from another world for their own purposes. Therefore, the main character needed to go to a country that is not controlled by the elves and get information from someone at the level of the king. Mia had an idea on how to make a new shield. You can try to turn the wall in the heart into a barrier. When Mia lost confidence and her friends said that she put a barrier and she closed herself off, the girl imagined many times how she puts a barrier to the heart. Now she can do it with the deformation skill. Marlu asked if it was possible to turn the feeling of rejection into a barrier. Mia answered positively. From the necklace that Marlu made, Mia built a barrier. To use it, it was enough to feel rejection and it will activate. The girl and the main character went to test it. Takumi used a new sword. Without a blade, it is easier and even a beginner could handle it. With one swing of the sword, he cut the tree in half. It fell to the ground with a crack. The cut of the tree was burned from such a power of the sword. You need to practice a little with this to be able to distribute the force correctly. It's time to test the wall of the heart that Mia invented. Takumi put on the necklace and went to the goblins in the forest to check it. The goblin ran at Takumi and was getting ready to attack. MC shouted at the goblin not to come closer and presented a barrier that prevented the goblin from attacking. Because of this, the monster was thrown aside. The shield works, everything turned out perfectly. Mia and Takumi decided to take a quest to train and earn money for the road. They went to an abandoned mine. Their task was to destroy giant rats. On the way, they did not meet a single rat, but the spiders in the gloomy cave were becoming more and more numerous. Mia was scared and screamed when she saw a huge arachne on the ceiling. Takumi was also surprised by the size of this spider, but now they were stronger than this one. They won the fight and went to the store to sell 4 bags of magic stones. The girl in the store saw stones of high-level monsters in the bag. She was surprised by this. These stones could only be earned with a C-rank level. She invited Takumi and Mia into the next room. She led them inside. The elf thanked the girl, and she left. Kisei, the guildmaster, introduced himself to them. The elf asked where they found the arachne's magic stones. Did the elves notice Takumi and Mia? MC replied that they found the arachne on the 3rd level of the abandoned mine. The guildmaster said that the information about the arachne was classified. He believed that they met the arachne in the mine. Takumi suggested that Mia sell the stones and quickly leave from there. Suddenly, Kisei attacked them, releasing a cloud of power at them. The shield that Mia invented reflected the attack. The elf saw this and understood what their strength was. The guildmaster had already been informed that MC and Mia's profession and skills were not impressive. The elf asked Takumi, since their skills were weak, did their strength lie in their equipment? Thanks to the heart wall equipment, they both survived. Takumi angrily replied that he would not answer questions from someone who suddenly attacked. Kisei laughed and offered MC to sell this equipment. The protagonist refused to sell it, citing that it is not safe. The elf continued to check them. He asked questions again. He asked what was on the 3rd level of the mine. Are they ready to tell the truth or give up? Takumi answered that they immediately returned after defeating the arachne. They do not know what is on the 3rd level of the mine. The elf smiled. He wanted to promote them to rank B in exchange for their work. He offered an official quest. It was necessary to check the mine again and find the rest of the arachnes. Takumi did not want to agree. This was not part of his plans. Kisei asked, he did not want to agree because they stole the stones? He threatened them that false reports will lead to the deprivation of the adventurer card. The elf pressed them. They had to agree. Takumi and Mia returned to the blacksmith and tailor and told them that they need to leave this city, urgently. Cook asked, what happened? Takumi replied that the elves had noticed them. The blacksmith asked if it was because of the weapon they had created. MC nodded, apologized for bothering them, and now they needed to get ready in a hurry. Marlu asked them not to worry. Takumi warned them that he would need to go on a quest and that he would return as soon as he finished. Mia would stay with them. The girl turned to Takumi and said that she would take care of Cooked and Marlu and that he could safely go on the quest. MC was surprised by Mia's confidence and courage and thanked her. The next day, he went down into the mine, but after their last visit, there was no one left. He finished the quest, took the reward from the shop. The elf paid generously for the quest. It was time to leave this city. Takumi returned to the house. He was ready to leave. He went inside and called the guys, but no one answered. The door was knocked down. MC was very scared. He called everyone. Mia, Marlu, Cooked, silence. No one answered him. He pushed the door and entered the room. There was only Cut in the room. The blacksmith was killed. He was pierced with a sword. Takumi had a bewildered look on his face. He did not understand what was happening. After what he saw, he immediately looked back to see what happened to Mia. Takumi screamed, Mia! And saw a man talking to a beaten Mia. He asked her questions how they got rank B. He said that they cheated. He said that with people like them, he can handle without problems. Takumi saw the man's face. It was that nasty old man, Hiroshi's friend. The man asked Mia if her strange barrier ended. Mia said that she no longer had SP for the heart wall. The man grabbed Mia by the hair and said that Takumi was just in time. The old man asked if they killed the Arachne. He asked Takumi to give up the weapon. MC looked at his comrades in horror. The old man turned to MC and said that this dwarf will not talk anymore. Takumi looked at Marla, who was lying unconscious. The old man said that he was asking so nicely, and they did not want to answer questions. After a few seconds of silence, he approached Takumi. His face became scary with anger. He shouted that then he would have to take Takumi's weapon by force. The old man swung, but Takumi was faster. He pierced the old man's body through and through. The protagonist's face was splattered with blood. The old man screamed. The old man's teammates and the elf Hiroshi asked Takumi to wait and not kill them, because if he killed them, the guild would not stand aside. They said that there was an order to steal equipment. Suddenly, Guildmaster Kisei appeared in the room and attacked Takumi, but MC saved the heart barrier. The heart barrier rejected the attack. Kisei said that if they had just given the equipment, everything would have been fine. Then he said that murder is a serious crime and the protagonist will be punished. Takumi, full of rage, ran up to Kisei and swung his sword and attacked the elf. But Kisei was saved by the barrier magic. Takumi immediately realized that Kisei had barrier magic. The elf said that the protagonist would not be able to destroy it, but Takumi's power was stronger than Kisei's barrier, and Takumi cut off the elf's head with one movement. Kisei's head fell to the floor. Blood poured out of his body. All of Kisei's supporters screamed that the guildmaster was killed. Takumi shouted that he would kill everyone who stood in his way. The guildmaster's supporters began to shout in confusion that it was time for them to run. They wondered how MC killed Kisei. Wasn't he cheating? After all the guildmaster's supporters ran away, Mia called out to Takumi. Takumi was worried about Mia and ran to her. Mia said that Cooked protected her. She began to apologize to MC for what happened. Then she said that Cooked asked her to take care of the two of them. She said again that she was very sorry. Marlu said that it was not her fault. Mia saw that Marlu had woken up. The tailor asked Mia if she protected her. Mia went to Marlu and asked if she was injured. She rolled over from her back to her stomach and said that she was fine, but the chase was close. They had to leave. Mia asked Marlu if she could take Cooked with her in her pocket. Marlu answered positively. Mia hugged the tailor. She said that if Mia took Cooked, he would definitely be happy. Marlu said she wanted to bury him in the land of the dwarfs, the capital of INVINCIBLE. 2 months later, Team Takumi found themselves in the capital. They entered the city and after a little while, they saw a wanted sign. MC saw that he and Mia were wanted because they killed an adventurer, a guildmaster, an elf. Because of this incident, an adventurer card, which is a magic item, must now be presented when entering the city. Even if the wanted persons disguise themselves, they will be caught through observation of the use of cards. Takumi disguised himself and used the forgery skill to change the name on the card. He is now Takuma the blacksmith. With the help of the disguise skill, Takumi forged information about other people. Mia has now become Mio the master. Mia was glad that they were able to pass even under observation. Marlu said that they should be more careful now, because they still cannot allow themselves to be recognized. Takumi's team walked around the capital and collected information. Out of the corner of her eye, Mia saw a carriage driving by and a girl ran out onto the road in front of the carriage. Mia shouted at the girl to be careful. Mia threw herself under the carriage without thinking. She grabbed the girl and jumped out of the way of the carriage. Mia hugged the girl out of fear and asked if she was okay. The artist said that you can't run out onto the road so suddenly. The girl's mother called out to her, "Anna." The girl ran to her mother. Meanwhile, the carriage stopped and the swordsman and the princess got out. They asked if they were okay. Passers-by screamed in surprise. The crowd began to discuss what the legendary swordsman and the princess were doing together. The swordsman turned to Takumi's team. He asked to let them thank them. Takumi said that there was no need to thank them and so that the swordsman would not see their faces. He turned away and tried to leave. The swordsman insistently asked them to sit in the carriage. They had to agree to his offer. When Takumi, Mia and Marlu got into the carriage, MC wondered if they were kidnapped. Then the swordsman immediately apologized for scaring them. The swordsman and the princess introduced themselves. They are Arthur and Mary Williams. Takumi introduced himself as Takuma. Mia said she was Mio. Marlu said she was Maruna. The carriage arrived at the castle. The swordsman thanked Takumi because they saved them from running over a child. They entered the building. Takumi saw the stairs that led to the rooms on the second floor. The servants greeted the princess, the swordsman, and the unknown guests. Arthur laughed and said that there was no need to be so formal. The swordsman led them to the room and said that he would like to thank them again. Mia replied that there was no need to worry. Arthur immediately asked Mio and Takuma, "Are they people from another world?" Mia and Takumi were surprised how he could understand this. The swordsman said that only people from another world can remain unharmed after colliding with a horse and laughed. He asked, "How long have they been in this world?" MC hoped that they were not discovered. Takumi smiled and said that they had been in this world for 5 months. Arthur asked why they were in the capital to gather information. He said that he could help do it. The swordsman said that they should not be shy about asking for help. The protagonist said that they needed a map of this world. Arthur replied that a map was rare in this world. He said that he would show them his. He moved to the side of the nightstand and asked them to come closer. The swordsman showed a very old-looking map. It showed only one island. Takumi was surprised by this. Williams asked if they were surprised. Then he said that he himself was surprised. Arthur said that they did not know about the existence of other continents, and they did not have planes. Takumi asked what was the green area on the map. The swordsman replied that it was Titania, the country of elves, but writing down information about elves was prohibited. Arthur said that the human country is actually under the control of the elves. Takumi was perplexed. Mia asked to copy this map. Williams said that copying maps is prohibited, but he will make an exception for them. She thanked him. The swordsman noticed that Mia is good at drawing. He asked if she is an artist. Takumi was afraid that they would be exposed and said that Mio is a master, and he is a blacksmith. Marlu said that they wanted to go to the dwarven country for training, but the road she used before was closed. The swordsman understood and said that it is better to get to the village of Mora by cart. It is better to leave early, and he also remembered that the day after tomorrow at noon, there will be an execution of a demon. Takumi asked what this demon did. Arthur answered, "They say this demon attacked an elf outside the kingdom." Takumi asked what Arthur Williams thinks about the execution of a demon in the human kingdom. He answered MC that the king cannot contradict the elves because they control magic items, so demons are executed here. Takumi thanked them for the information and said that it was time for them to go. The princess wanted to offer them something to eat, but they were already getting ready to go. She told them to be careful. The MC team began to leave the room. Takumi thanked the swordsman and the princess. He was going to go see the guests off, but the princess called out to the swordsman and said that the naivety of MC and his team reminded her of the times when they first came to this world. The princess sadly said that 10 years had already passed, but she was happy as long as her brother was next to her. That was enough for her. A man was walking down the street behind the guys. They got carried away in conversation and did not notice it. Marlu said that when they get to the country of the gnomes, she would make Mia a ring. Mia said that she was glad and looked questioningly at Takumi. He said that he does not have a very good relationship with rings. He has trauma from this, especially from wedding rings. Marlu and Mia were surprised. They began to ask Takumi, who is this girl, because of whom MC has trauma? Is she from the past world? The tailor asked to tell his story in more detail, but Takumi said that after this, he prefers to be alone. He asked not to remind about the bitter past. The team was walking down the street, when suddenly a man called out to them from behind. He asked to answer his question honestly, and if MC does not answer honestly, then they will feel bad. Takumi and Mia looked back. Marlu said that this man has red eyes, and it looks like he's a demon. He took off his hood and showed his face. The guys were very surprised looking at the demon. They were impressed by his size. The demon was much taller than them. He was huge. They were a little scared of the demon, and he asked, "Are they from another world?" He was impressed. It is rare to meet someone who, when meeting a demon, does not attack immediately. The protagonist said that they were friends of the dwarves and wanted to be friends with the demons. The demon asked Takumi if he was a dwarf. He was wondering how MC could prove that he was a friend of the dwarves. Takumi was confused how to prove that he was a friend. Marlu called out to Takumi. She handed him her father's bracelet to prove their friendship to the demon. The bracelet had a name written on it, Kukuto. Marlu replied that it was necessary to get to the country of the dwarves. The demon, hearing this, asked, "Gonhiram's bracelet? So your father is Master Kukuto?" Marlu nodded and asked if the demon knows him. The man apologized. He said that he did not know that she was the daughter of Kukuto, Master Marlu. Mia asked, were they both celebrities? Marlu said that she had already said that they had cool bracelets, but no one expected that even demons knew about them. Gale, he introduced himself to them. The demon asked them to follow him. They approached the bar. There were quite a few people inside. The guys climbed the stairs to the second floor and entered a mysterious room. Gale said that this place is connected with demons. Magical devices are installed here to protect against eavesdropping. They introduced themselves to the demon, giving their names. Mia asked what they would talk about, why they came to this place. The demon said that he saw them leaving the swordmaster's estate and asked if they heard anything about the captured demon. Takumi said that he was caught for attacking the elves. Gale shouted that this was nonsense. The elves themselves invaded the lands of the demons and kidnapped them. Takumi and Mia asked how this could happen. Gale said that the elves captured and kidnapped the princess of the demons, Carl. He said that demons do not hate elves, but if this continues, then in order to save Princess Carla, demons will have to fight humans, even if they know that it is an elf plot. Takumi asked Gale why he was following Arthur. The demon said that the Swordmaster is the strongest of humans. The king trusts him. Arthur knows exactly what is happening. Takumi said that asking Arthur to help was probably useless. After all, King Melkid could not go against the elves. The demon was upset by these words. The guys looked at Gale and decided together that they would also help the demons. Gale thanked them, but said that they did not have time left to gain the trust of other people. If their plan failed, it would be very bad. The demon thought about it and told the guys to forget about it and apologized for wasting their time. They left the building and Marlu asked sadly, was their help really completely useless? Mia encouraged everyone and said that the day after tomorrow, they would go to the central square. Mia asked, who could forbid them? Takumi thought about her words. He and Marlu agreed to go to the central square. They had 2 days left before this event. They decided to stay at a hotel. Once inside, they were surprised by the cost of hotel rooms. Prices in the capital were 5 times more expensive than in Barseri, so the guys decided to stay in one room, the 3 of them. Takumi said that it was not the best idea, but they had no choice. Mia and Marlu settled down together on the big bed, and Takumi settled down on the small sofa. Mia quickly fell asleep. Takumi lay with his eyes closed and thought about the upcoming trip to the square, when suddenly he heard Marlu's voice. She asked the MC if he couldn't sleep. He turned towards Marlu. He really couldn't sleep. The tailor sat on the edge of the bed and asked the protagonist to tell her the story about the ring. She asked him to tell her about the bell he heard. Takumi made a dissatisfied expression and said that there was no need to talk about it. There was a moment in his life when he decided to live alone. Marlu laughed. She said that he wanted to live alone, and now there are 3 of them. She heard from Mia that at first he wanted to be alone, but then he couldn't leave Mia alone. And demons and dwarves, he will not be able to leave anyone. Takumi told Marlu that when he first came to this world, they didn't seem bad to him. He didn't feel anything bad about it. It was easier for him to earn money here than in the previous world. But Mia was suffering, and he didn't stay away. That's why he wants her to come back. And since that's how it turned out, he'll help her. Marlu smiled. She said that she was going back to bed. It was time to sleep. The next day, Mia woke up MC and the tailor. She went to the store early in the morning to shop while they were sleeping and bought a potion. The guys were ashamed that Mia went shopping alone. Takumi was upset that there was little potion. He could sell magic stones in the guild and buy more of this. Marlu reminded him that they were still wanted. The protagonist looked at the potion mysteriously. The girls asked, did something happen? He replied that he had improved the effect of this from 10 to 90. Mia asked about his skill. Could he turn a rock into a cat? She wanted to draw and found a rock for drawing. Mia handed it to Takumi and asked to try his skill on it. MC took it in his hands and began testing the skills, but no matter how hard he tried, nothing came of it. Mia asked in surprise why it wasn't working. Could he turn a rock into a cliff? Takumi didn't know if it would work, but as soon as he touched the rock, it turned into a cliff. Mia asked if faith could influence skills. MC couldn't turn a rock into a cat because he didn't believe in success, but he easily turned a rock into a cliff. The protagonist wondered, what about Mia's deformation skill? Surely she doesn't create barriers and make trees bigger just because she believes in it? Mia explained how her skill works when MC told her to picture a picture in her head. She didn't imagine it. She created it from what she saw. She said that drawing depends less on faith. You can just imagine it on the canvas. Marlu summed it up. It turns out that if a person has knowledge or imagination, it helps. Mia said that if she improves her drawing skills, her skills will become stronger. She asked if Takumi and Marlu could be her models for drawings. The guys were not ready for this. The artist said that important parts of the body can be hidden, but she has long wanted to try drawing a nude. In the end, Takumi managed to escape, but Marlu became a model. The day of the execution of demons came. A crowd of people gathered in the square. They talked about the execution of demons. They said that demons attacked human villages and ate people. Takumi was angry. The whole city is in such a mood. Are elves spreading rumors? Elves gather people to set them on demons and create victims. The goal of the elves is to sow enmity between demons and people, to unleash a bloody conflict. Arthur appeared on the square. The crowd fell silent seeing him. On the stage, surrounded by swordsmen, sat 3 bound demons. The swordsman said that here and now the execution of demons who committed crimes will take place. The demons were bound. Their chains were sealed with magic seals, and their mouths were taped. The crowd shouted that demons are enemies. People demanded to kill the cannibals. Takumi, Mia, and Martu stood among other people and looked for Gale with their eyes. Where is he? Suddenly in the sky above their heads there was a crack, a roar, a howl. People rushed to run in different directions. The guys saw a dragon in the sky and ran. Takumi could not understand where the dragon came from. The dragon screamed and flew down at high speed. The crowd ran away from the square. The dragon landed on the stage. Someone from the people shouted that the criminals had escaped. The demons ran towards the dragon. It became clear that the dragon was also a demon. The guys realized that they could escape on the dragon. Mia saw that it was spitting something out. Marlu asked if they should run away. The team ran from there. Suddenly, there was a roar and a dragon's squeal behind them. The dragon was wounded with a sword. Blood was flowing from the wound. Takumi stopped when he saw this. The dragon's cry deafened everyone. Arthur appeared in his path. He was holding a sword in his hand. Arthur looked angrily at the dragon. People shouted at him so that the swordsman would not let the criminals go. The protagonist could not believe it. Was Arthur really going to destroy them all? The dragon tried to retreat, but he was seriously wounded. Mia asked what they should do. Will they kill the dragon? MC said that if this goes on, then the demons will not be spared either. Takumi clenched his jaw and said that they can't just run away, and shouted to the team that they will go save the dragon. The dragon tried to fly. Its strength left, it fell. The guys ran to the dragon and saw a man. He seemed familiar to them. It was Gale. They were glad to see him there, glad that he came. The other demons from Gale's team asked who these people were. The demon told them that they were the same people from another world that they talked about yesterday. Suddenly someone asked why they came here. A beautiful demon girl approached them. Gale introduced her, Carla, the princess who was being held captive. Takumi asked the demons, do they want to escape on the dragon? MC offered to help cure the dragon. Carla asked where Leto was. What happened to the dragon? Gale told Carla that these people can be trusted. The protagonist shouted, while the smoke from the explosion worsens visibility, this is a chance to escape. Carla trusted Takumi's team. She told Gale that they had to buy time. The boys reached the dragon and used all the potions to heal it. The wounds healed a little, but not completely. Carla asked Leto, will he be able to fly? He nodded. She was glad. It seems he is okay. Gale called out to Carl. She turned around. The other demons were not visible. Carla asked, where are the others? Gale answered that they stayed to delay the swordmaster. He ordered to fly away from here quickly. Carla screamed at him that you can't do that. Gale screamed that they can't just throw away their lives. The demon apologized and hit Carl on the head so that she lost consciousness. Gale picked Carl up and thanked Takumi for his help. The demon climbed onto the dragon's back and was about to fly. MC shouted to him that they were landing too. If he just took off, they could be shot down. The team has skills. It will help. The demon apologized and agreed that it would help. The boys climbed onto the dragon and flew away from there. Leto was weak after being wounded. Gale was supporting the dragon. Takumi leaned over to see what was happening in the square. He was curious about the fate of the other demons. Were they able to stop Arthur? MC saw the square. Arthur was standing with a sword in his hands. It was covered in blood. Takumi was scared by his gaze. Arthur was looking at the dragon in the sky. The demons were all dead. The swordmaster swung and thrust the sword into the ground with all his might. Marlu and Mia saw magic. They were surprised and asked Takumi, is the swordmaster really a human? He replied that the one they saw was a human. MC shouted to the dragon for Leto to fly faster. Leto, please faster. The striking force of the sword was directed at the dragon. It was approaching quickly. The boys were in danger of death. A little more and the sword will reach them. Takumi is horrified by this. He tries to stop the power of the sword using a barrier. This reflects the attack. The protagonist is scared. He is afraid that the barrier will not withstand the load of the sword's power. Mia shouts that she can help. Also use the barrier to reflect the attack. MC forbade her to do this. If the barriers intersect, they can neutralize each other. Mia was very worried. She asked Takumi to be careful. The swordmaster was not going to retreat. He continued to attack. Arthur and Takumi met eyes. Their fight continued. The tension was off the charts. Both of them could not stop this. They would die, but they would not stop fighting. The power of the sword reached its peak. Takumi screamed with all his might to hold the barrier. The swordmaster could not do anything about it. Takumi repelled the attack. Arthur remained sitting in the center of the square. From the fierce battle, the square was destroyed. The dragon flew far enough from the city. Now they are at a safe distance. Mia rushed into the protagonist's arms. She thought she would die of fear. Gale thanked Takumi. He said that he always thought that MC was not an ordinary person. But now he is sure of it. The swordmaster is from another world. Mary Williams ran out to the square. She called her brother. The swordmaster realized who he was fighting. He recognized Takuma. Mary heard this and asked Arthur why he continued to attack if he knew it was Takuma. The swordsman replied that he only realized this after he defended himself. In battle he does not think about the enemy. Mary apologized to her brother. She said that her words were stupid, given the severity of her brother's responsibilities as a swordmaster. Arthur calmed her down and asked her not to worry. He is the king's sword. The sword should not have its own will. But there are things that it does not want to destroy. Mary said that the king called Arthur. He has business for the swordsman. The swordmaster said that it was probably not the king who called him, but the fox. Mary said that this fox is behind all this that is happening with the demons. The princess asked if she could not go. Arthur answered negatively. They will kill him, he said, and asked Mary to go together. ISEKAI'D Castle. Arthur says that he did a good job. The king sits on the throne and next to him is an elf. She asked the swordsman what the situation was. Arthur said that during the execution, the dragon attacked and the demons were released. The elf asked the swordsman what he did. Just let them escape? The swordsman said, I beg your pardon, your excellency. Ambassador Eldor introduced herself. She said that the swordsman could easily deal with the dragon. Arthur told her that it was a fight in the city and he could not use all his strength, but he inflicted serious wounds on the dragon. Eldor clarified that such wounds would require high-level magic or a potion to heal. Then she asked what Arthur was doing at that time, just standing and watching? The swordsman answered in the negative. The ambassador asked the swordsman if he let them escape. The swordsman turned to Eldor and wanted to say something, but the king interrupted him. He turned to Arthur, his sword. He did not believe that everything turned out this way.